pairing elimination rounds follows roughly the same process as pairing preliminary rounds. You go to the same form here on the start page, click on pair round, but as you can see, there are no round numbers for any of the divisions, and that's because you're done. There are no more rounds to pair. All 6 rounds have been paired. So we go up here to the top and click on PairingElims. Now the major difference between prelims and elims is that we're no longer using rounds to pair, we're using elim time blocks. And you'll remember back on your tournament settings is when you set up the elim time blocks. Now as you can see, I did this on purpose, but there were no time block settings detected. I never went to my tournament settings and set this up. If you get this note, we provided a nice little button to the right that allows you to set your time blocks. And so what we have here are 8 time blocks where you can set up your elimination rounds. And this is done mainly in the case where you have different divisions running different elimination rounds during different blocks. So for example, sometimes at our tournaments we go to double octos in one division, and that's all. Only the junior division was big enough to go to double octos, and so we'd pick double octos for block 1, and the program automatically fills in for you. Hopefully that will be helpful. Octos, quarters, sems, and finals in the other blocks. But let's make this smaller. Let's do octos, and you can see when you change it, it goes to octos, quarters, sems, finals. And then let's leave quarters together in the other divisions. But then for senior, let's say they get block 4 off. When you do none, it assumes you're finished, but let's put finals and block 5. And so you see in this setup, we have senior parley, nothing in block 1, quarter sems, nothing, and then finals in block 5 by itself. Junior does octos, quarter sems, finals, novice does quarter sems, finals, rookie does quarter sems, finals. And what this is hopefully allowing you to do is to be able to pair these divisions within each block without necessarily having to think of this later when you're really stressed out. So normally you would set this up at the beginning of the tournament, but in case you forget, the program will give you this warning. So go ahead and click Save, exit the form, and now you'll see that for elim time block 1, the only division available is junior parley. And now it kind of works the same like the other form. The first box is if you're going to pair this division. The next is what round you're going to pair, so we're going to do octos like we just set up in the form. Now if it's the first elimination round in that division, it's going to ask you for how many teams are clearing. Now what we're asking for here is the exact number of teams from your tournament that you're going to advance to this elimination round. We don't want to know the total number of teams because of course there are going to be 16 teams in octafinals. However, if for some reason you're only advancing 14 teams, for example, teams had to have a winning record, there weren't enough without winning records, for whatever reason, you can enter that. Let's go ahead and enter 16, which would be the normal number. You can enter how many judges on each panel. Normally tournaments do 3. You can set whether or not you want the program to break brackets. So if two teams from one school are hitting each other in the bracket, the program will automatically break that. And then you can also set, normally you're going to want to break the brackets. And you can also set whether or not you want the debaters to flip for sides, so there will be a coin flip, or if you want the program to just assign the sides. Normally we just have the program do it. The program randomly assigns sides. Unless the teams have seen each other. If the teams have seen each other before, the program defaults to having them be on the opposite side. So if in preliminary rounds one team was affirmative and the other team was negative, in elimination rounds the two teams would switch. So let's go ahead and leave it like that. That's how I normally run tournaments. And simply click Pair Elim. Again, you can follow it down in this corner. It tells you it's preparing to pair. I'll take a few seconds here. Right now it's getting all the data ready. As long as we have time, I can point out a few other things to you. The form also allows you to see the team rankings. If you click here, it won't work right now because it's pairing, but you can click here and see the team rankings. And there's other buttons on the right hand side that can pull up different forms. So it's finished pairing Junior Parley Octafinals, and you'll see on this form all of the rounds with the rooms and the teams and the judges, just like for preliminary rounds. Just take a few seconds to load. And so here we go. So we have the 8 debates for octafinals, all of the teams. You can see the wins. Again, just like we talked about on the other video for the edit pairings form, you can select different data. So if you want to see the seed, you can do that here. So you can see that the 1 seed's hitting the 16, the 2's hitting the 15, the 3's hitting the 14, 4's hitting 13, etc., etc., etc. And that's the pairing elimination rounds. So we'll go ahead and say this is fine, and that's the pairing form.